Ready? Do, 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 do. No, that's
Do, do, do.
that was a zippity doo dah. Shit, I'm trying to do the recess opening.
Gonna go back to school.
Yeah, okay. And I can't even like sing or hum the opening to recess. How did I screw that up?
I'll tell you how. We have brain injuries.
Yeah.
Zippity doo dah. Zippity. Hi, I'm Joe,
And I'm Lauren.
and we are
The
NeuroNerds.
Yes, that was on time.
I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about that.
NeuroNerds.
Welcome to the NeuroNerds.
Hi.
And keeping with the theme
Yes.
of back to school.
In freaking August. And I know technically it'll be September, the first Monday of, it'll be Labor Day.
Oh yeah,
When this is released.
yeah.
So, I mean, but still, like, kids going back to school in August is like some kind of cruel and unusual punishment. Let's be real.
I think school period is just cruel and unusual
loved
punishment.
school, okay?
Yeah, of course you did.
Yes.
Of course you did. Nerd.
It's not my fault I was smart.
Well,
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, I'm awesome.
All right. So, thankfully, both of us, neither one of us had to go to school with a brain injury.
No, we got through our formative years without it.
Yeah. And I don't know if that would have made it easier or worse.
God.
School's difficult. School's very difficult.
Mhm.
You're becoming like who you are. Your body's changing. You're trying to figure out like, I don't know, what's what. There's girls.
Yeah, and then you get to the epiphany when you go to college, after even graduating college, that none of that mattered.
No, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Like everything that you think meant anything, it means shit.
Yeah, you're never going to use the Pythagorean theorem in your real life.
Ever. Yeah. Why do we go to school? Down with school.
No, I love school.
No, we're not going, not down with school. So we were talking about a few minutes ago, our favorite subjects. And Lauren burst my bubble and said, PE isn't a subject. It is. It was an entire period in my school day.
Yeah, for everyone, but it's not like, what did you learn in PE? How to play really bad tennis, volleyball?
Those aren't sports. Those are pastimes. I'm a basketball player.
Sweetheart, you were a basketball player.
Yeah.
You're not a professional.
And I learned
basketball player.
how to play basketball the right way. I learned how to stay in shape. I learned how to pick up on chicks.
But PE was not basketball.
Well,
PE
physical education. I enjoyed physical education.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I enjoy.
Did you have any other?
I enjoyed educating others with my physical.
God.
Yeah.
Let's get physical.
I want to get animal.
There you go. But did you enjoy any intellectual subjects in school? Non-PE classes?
Honestly, I didn't really fuck with school a lot. And I
Children and kids that are listening out there, Joe is not a role model
I'm
when
not.
it comes to school.
I'm like Charles Barkley in those 90s
You
Nike
are
commercials.
not Charles Barkley.
I'm not a role model. Parents should be role models. No, so I didn't have like, I don't want to say proper upbringing.
You didn't have like the best relationship with school.
I didn't at all, and again, being in survival mode since I was like in single digits, school, if you passed, you won. You know what I mean? Like mediocrity almost ruled in my household. Seriously. So like if I passed, like, oh, okay, good. You passed. You're supposed to. It wasn't like, well, you got a C. You should be getting A's and B's. It wasn't that. It was like, oh, you got to see good. You passed.
See, for me, like mediocrity is like one of the worst like fears and like insults. If someone accused me of being mediocre, this is one of my own ish I had to go to therapy for. But if someone like accuses me of mediocre, that's like the worst insult you could give me. Other than anything that would impinge upon my integrity or honor,
Mhm.
the next one would be calling me mediocre. And it's like, what? I mean, I didn't get a C in school as a grade until college. And I only got 2 in college. Yeah, I was
I
devastated.
had no idea that you grew up to be mediocre.
Shut up. No, but like in college, I got 1 C and I cried. I called my parents. I was so disappointed. I was scared. I was so upset. That was my sophomore year, I think. That was the first C I'd ever gotten. And then I got a C in statistics my winter quarter of senior year. And I was so happy because I thought I had an F. Because statistics does not make sense to me. Give me calculus. I can do calculus. That makes sense to me. I'm happy with it. Geometry, I'm cool. I'm
a big fan of addition.
Right? Like, okay. but it starts with an A. Algebra, yay. But like stats and economics do not make sense to me because it's the same equation, but like 12 different ways. And then like, I swear it would make sense to me as I was on the page. I was like, okay, I finally get it. Turn the page to the next page to do problems or to read something else. And then I would go back to the page before and it was like suddenly in a different language and I couldn't read it. And so that's why I like threw a party that I got a C. There was a huge curve because everyone in the class was failing. So I was like, I got a C.
So out of, you were top tier when it came to mediocrity.
Oh, yeah.
Great. Way to celebrate. Way to be an example for all the kids out there. Lauren L. Manzano.
Anyone who knows anything about excellence and elitism.
Is Lauren L. Manzano.
Well, so I was a little devastated when I graduated college because I missed graduating with Latin honors by 0.02 on my GPA.
Oh, that sucks because it's so close. Wait, why Latin honors?
You know, like magna cum laude.
Oh,
that
got
stuff.
it.
So I had a 3.63 graduating college unweighted.
Mm-hmm.
I needed a 3.65. I was devastated, guys.
You know what you should have taken? Cheese appreciation or basket weaving.
I satisfied my upper division writing requirement 5 times because I loved writing and I loved Greek classics. But what I ended up getting into, which apparently according to my college guidance counselor at the time, he's like, this is better than Latin honors, was I'm part of Phi Beta Kappa, which is the oldest honor society for liberal arts in the United States. And so, yeah, so I'm like, excuse you.
I went to camp on Awana. Does that, no, nothing?
But let's go to high school because I think of our younger listeners, we got kids in high school and stuff like that. So did you enjoy any subject in school?
To be honest,
yeah.
No.
Really?
Yes, at all. And I'll tell you why. So in junior high school, I just kind of like, again, I was just trying to figure out who I was, right? I didn't really have the deep ties with all the other people that were around because I moved around so much, you know? So I was just trying to figure out who I was. And that's when I discovered sports, right? Basketball player. And I was like, oh, so these are now like my people. These are my friends. And this is like my personality now. I'm like an athlete and I play I'm a
That
baller.
was your label?
It was. I was a baller. I was an athlete. Like that's what.
That's so cute. I was a baller.
Yeah. Like I identify with being a basketball player. And it was cool because it was like everything.
So you were the short one though?
I wasn't. I didn't go to like a school where it was like a bunch of 8-footers. There was like 3 guys on the team taller than me. I was in junior high school when I first started playing, I was like 5'10". And then in high school, I was just under 6'2". There was like 2-3 other guys who were taller.
I still don't believe that he's 6'2", guys.
I am literally a scotch. That's right. I use the word scotch. I'm a scotch under 6'2".
That's like me saying I'm 5'8".
That is.
A good day.
Are you kidding me? There's a massive difference.
I am 5'3" and 3/4.
Okay, see, you're adding the 3/4. I am above 3/4 or like.
Are you 5'8"?
No, I am 6'1" and above 3/4. I am that close to 6'2".
Like 7/8.
You are absolutely nowhere near 5'8".
In my heels, I am. I'm 6 foot in my high heels.
Oh my God, you're taller than me in your heels for sure. So, but like the schooling part, I went to school in the 90s. And
so did I.
The LAUSD, which is just a flawed, disturbingly bad system.
Yes.
You know, and even today at my old high school and my junior high school, there were so many kids that there were bungalows. I'm doing quote fingers, temporary bungalows for these kids that are now still there.
Yeah.
These kids are still learning in these bungalows. They're not classrooms. Yeah. They're just bungalows. Right. So this is like
Joe forgets. I also went to a ghetto ass high school.
Okay, stop. I don't want to hear that. Ghetto ass high schools did not have water polo teams.
Dude.
Anybody out there?
I went to school in La Puente.
That's fine.
Do you even know where La Puente is?
Yes, I do. It's a very brown area. I get it. Anybody out there, if you went to I'm doing quote fingers again, the ghetto ass school with a water polo team, are you serious?
I am absolutely serious.
There's no way.
Did you have armed guards at your school?
Yes.
Police officers?
Yes.
So did we.
There has never been a ghetto school with a water polo team.
Yes,
ever.
there is. Yes, there is.
There really
your
hasn't.
Bias is showing. You're so prejudiced.
Yeah. I'm prejudiced.
Yeah,
no, I am accurate. So, but like schooling, the teachers kind of like phoned it in because they had to. And I understand it as an adult now. they had to deal with so many kids.
Mm-hmm.
Every single class was just under or over 40 children.
Yeah.
You can't get to know anyone individually. There's no individual attention when you have an hour, less than an hour,
50 minutes.
Yeah, to deal with 40 children. And then you have like the gaps in intelligence. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm not saying, oh, those dumbass kids. There's the kids that need different types of learning.
Yes.
Right. There's kids. There was kids that were English as a second language.
That was half the population of my high school.
Seriously. It was difficult, you know?
Yes.
So there was only, so like everybody jumbled together. And then you have like some of the kids that are just below AP. You know what I mean? The proficiency. Well, you know, nerd.
I'm looking at him like, I was above that line.
Of course. But yeah, they're the kids that are like teetering, that are like almost there.
Yeah.
That are in the exact same classes where the kids who have learning disabilities. Right?
I took one normal kid class.
It was annoying. Right, for you.
I didn't learn anything.
You couldn't.
I learned who to buy my weed from, how to roll weed, and how to escape school without being caught on the cameras.
So what you're saying is you learned amazing life lessons. Things that would still help you out today.
Did I ever use any of that? No.
Yeah, I really wish you like kept the weed rolling part because I still don't know how to roll a good joint. I am the worst.
No.
That it must have been really difficult because I understand the teachers couldn't put their focus on you because if they did, 95% of the class it would be wasted on them.
I was horrified when I first walked in because like in like the upper level classes, I would say so where I went to school, I was in the AP and the International Baccalaureate classes, which is all honors, and it's the top students of the school. And because I went to it was a ghetto high school,
allegedly
there was less competition for those of us at the top end for resources. So like the quote unquote rich kid or white kid school down the street from us, their competition to get into those AP classes, you had a wait list and a lottery to get in.
Oh, shit.
Where like us, there was 25 of us. So like we got shuttled around, right, to the different teachers. So we never had to compete for it. So we got access to that education. But I remember I'm used to the teachers, like we get to, pick our seats and whatnot. And I always sat in the front because I was Hermione. So I walk into this class where, because the way my schedule had worked out, I had to take language, right? Not my major because it's high school, but to graduate. So for my requirements. So the only thing that would fit with all the classes I was taking was Spanish 1. This was my freshman year. And it was it was a mixed class. So it was native and non-native speakers.
Okay.
And I'm like, but it wasn't like Spanish 1 honors. I should have been like Spanish 2 or 3. But it didn't work. So I was in Spanish 1. And I was so scared when I walked in because the teacher put me in the back. She made me sit in the back and I was so upset. Because I was upset.
Pobrecita.
I was the second to the back row in the corner.
So you were like the tough kids.
Yeah, that's why I knew where to get my weed from. They told me.
Again,
they
life
took me
lessons.
they took me under their wing. They felt sorry for me because I was the little smart nerd in there that didn't know what they were doing in there.
Lauren, hold on to this, please. They're not going to search you. It's perfect.
I mean, if I was only in there for like 1 quarter before they were able to move me to a different honors class. But yeah, basically.
That's amazing. Audible is offering our listeners a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. As a brain injury or a stroke survivor like myself, it's hard for me to get through reading books due to my injury. But with Audible, I can now enjoy as many books as I want just by listening. Before I started using Audible, I was having trouble reading my brain buddy Mimi Hayes' book, I'll Be Okay, It's Just a Hole in My Head. But once it popped up on Audible, I immediately put it on my wish list. Read Mimi's book with us. That's right, the NeuroNerds are forming a book club. What a great way for our brain injury survivor community to read books together. And even if you don't want to read the book we're reading, with this free trial, you can select any book of your choice for free. Go to audibletrial.com/the-NeuroNerds. Boom!
Boom!
Yeah, there wasn't a class I can think of that I was like, yes, I'm terrible at math. I was terrible at math. Actually, I'm terrible again at math because I had a brain injury.
Yeah.
But like, you know what? I was bored. So I realize this now as an adult. I wasn't challenged. I was bored. And I'll tell you why. I know exactly what it is. It was the school system in New York, which is significantly better than the school system here, right? I was learning things when I was in elementary school that I was learning again in junior high and high school. So as soon as that happened, I tuned out. I was like, I was doing this when I was in 4th grade, and I'm now doing this in 9th grade.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. I tuned out and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And that just kind of stuck. I found things that were much more interesting to me, like sports and girls.
Kids.
But
kids,
so if I was nowadays, God, that's like the oldest thing I've ever said.
I know.
But like people are learning that people need to learn differently.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, it isn't just, okay, well, in this book, you're supposed to be taught this way and that's how you retain information. It wasn't like that for me.
Well, of course, like me, I'm not a visual learner. I'm tactile. So that means I have to actually be doing it. My brother's an auditory learner. So again, the benefit of me being in those upper level classes is they were using what's called Socratic Seminar, which is how they teach in college, where the professor or the teacher is, the word is pontificating, but they're lecturing you and talking on a subject, but they're involving the students, asking questions, requiring participation.
Right, which is good.
Yeah, it's interaction. So you actually will retain more knowledge in that. But in an environment where it's a lot harder to get student engagement, whether it's different learning styles or ability to comprehend what's being said from language,
right.
Then it becomes easier to kind of just word vomit and make kids memorize.
Right.
You know?
It is, especially if there's 40 children in your class. Read this book, do this.
Yeah.
You know? So, and all
the standardized testing that now, which is absolutely ridiculous. Where teachers, and I have friends who work in the school systems, and they say like they have no freedom anymore. They have to teach to the test, which is awful. Standardized testing only serves to pigeonhole children and their potential.
Right.
You know, and you do it like I don't test well. Like my SATs were not high. Let's be real. I did not have stellar SAT scores. I was the generation I want to say I got like 1480.
That's still really good.
No, it's not.
It's not?
That's after they changed the test and it was like out of 2200. No, I got 1640 is what I had.
Still not bad.
Out of 2200. I think that's what I got.
Still not
1840. Bad. It might have been 1840. Guys, I don't remember shit. I think it was 1840, but I remember it was like nowhere near where I was like, ooh, because I don't test well on standardized testing. I psych myself out and I don't always pick the correct option.
Right. Get out of your head.
Exactly. So, but see, had that been my only option to move on, like get a high test score to get an opportunity to go to a certain university, I'd have been screwed. Right. But luckily my grades helped.
Also, I remember one of the downfalls in my learning was in junior high school. It was the interactive math program.
What's that?
Yeah, exactly. It was something that they tried out. Unfortunately, the years that I was in school, it was this thing where it's like, we're going to change the way we teach math.
Oh my God, like Common Core?
I don't even know what that is. Probably.
Yeah.
So it was an interactive thing, which on paper, it's like, oh yeah, you have the kids in little groups and they interact and they do these things, not just like 1 + 1 is 2. And then that, like, it's a way for them to
Was it with like manipulatives?
No, it was just, it was almost like English, you know, there was a lot of words instead of numbers.
Oh, I hate word problems.
So here's what's crazy about it. The teacher that was teaching this was explaining it. And he was like, okay, so even if you get the answer wrong, if your description, because you would have to not just on paper do it, you have to explain
you have to
how
verbalize.
You got. Yes. So if you're compelling enough and convincing enough in your argument on why you got that, you'll get a C.
So wait, now we're appealing to the Aristotelian, oh God, what is it called? The Aristotelian, based off Aristotle, ethos, pathos, and
nerd.
Shut up.
Lord, I fucking love you.
Basically, so we're saying that if I can persuade you, you still pass.
Exactly. So
even though you could be dead wrong.
So now you understand. Now, again,
I understand a lot about you now.
no, really. So clearly, I always joke that I'm an idiot, but I'm not an idiot. Like, I think I'm smart enough to act like a moron.
Yeah.
So I was smart enough even then to be like, this is ridiculous. I'm not learning anything. So basically, I could be a bullshitter. And if I bullshit enough, I'm going to get a C.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I ever learn anything? I tuned out. I completely tuned out. I tuned out early junior high school because I was doing the things in elementary school that they were just teaching me now on computers. Mm-hmm. And now I'm in this interactive revolutionary math program that you're telling me I don't have to get the right answer, but if I'm convincing enough, I'm going to get a C.
Yeah, that's horrible.
So my schooling was awful. On top of the
sorry.
fact that the teachers that I had tenure and didn't really care.
Yeah, they phoned it in.
So like all of that equals this dude right here. So did I enjoy school and classes? No.
So you didn't have a Dangerous Mind.
Had none of that.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
I didn't have that. I had all of the other stuff. I had the gang violence.
Yep.
I had like the shootings, the drugs. I had all that stuff going on, but I didn't have that teacher that actually cared. I didn't.
Sucks.
You know, and so all I had was sports. So that's why I went really heavy into sports. And that's what I enjoyed about junior high and high school was sports and girls.
If you enjoy listening to this podcast, please consider leaving us a 5-star review on the Apple Podcast app. Your reviews help us grow and reach more listeners like you.
Find us by searching for the NeuroNerds on the Apple Podcast app today.
Well, like on that subject, how many of us, when we're growing up through junior high and high school, all those very formative years, do we then find a superhero, a main character in a book, your hero, your villain that you can identify with, right?
The Punisher.
Okay, we're talking about coming of age characters.
Coming of age. So if you're going coming of age,
I'm not talking about supervillain, Punisher
no.
status.
You would have to say Spider-Man.
Yes, well, that's one.
Because he's perfect. Because he became like himself. You know, he went through the bullying.
But did you identify with Spider-Man?
I did.
Okay, so Spider-Man was yours.
I did. Spider-Man was the dude.
I'm like, I got two that I identify with, but so.
Why do I think that they're going to be disturbing?
They're not.
Really?
Yeah, I 100% guarantee they are not disturbing.
Who are they?
Buffy.
Oh, that kind of makes sense. That makes sense.
Right? And Hermione. Those are my two.
Hermione, I get because you're a fucking nerd.
But like, I'm the combination, right? I'm like Buffy, the butt kicker, the vampire slayer, and then I am Hermione.
You're exactly that. You're Buffy Miney. Buff Miney. No. Hermione, but with a Y at the end.
Oh, God.
Instead of it.
But no, so those were my like who I identified in like comic book, pop culture books, was looking to Buffy the Vampire Slayer every week. And she's going through all these trials and tribulations, not just balancing schoolwork, balancing her relationship with her parents, with her love life, and then adding in
secretly killing things.
Well, on top of that, I was like a secret identity. And then for me as the nerd, I'm like, oh my God, vampire lore, right?
I think I identified more with Daria.
I love that show.
You know what I mean? Because that was just kind of me every day at school.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, whatever. Now, again, she dealt with it better because she actually did her schoolwork and went to class.
Yes.
I just completely tuned out. Now, I'll say this and people are like, oh, well, you just didn't care. No, I did care. This is how I feel about Will Smith. People think I hate Will Smith. I love Will Smith.
Okay.
I'm just disappointed in the way he's raising his kid. You know what I mean? Like, this is like early on. Like, people like the whole Jaden Smith and like the Willow Smith
you
thing.
You do you, boo-boo. Just let people be them.
But you know what I mean? So like, for me, it's just like, oh man, that's disappointing. Like that, it's not hating on Will Smith. It's just like, you're better than this. So schooling, it was the same thing. Like, I really wanted school to be better.
Actually, now that I think about it, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is also a good one for a lot of people.
It was like, it resonated with me a lot too.
Because, I feel like in the 90s, they had a lot of really good shows that like, we don't have those anymore. That was about like the family sitcom and like kids growing up. Like, I was just thinking about it. So you had Urkel, right?
Yeah,
Family Matters.
Family Matters.
You had Full House.
Full House, Step by Step.
Step by Step. You had Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Spawn. No, that's a whole different thing.
Don't watch that one as you're a kid. But then on like Nickelodeon and like Disney, we had
all that.
No, I do love that show. But you had like, I think it was like As Told by Ginger or something like that,
and Recess.
Yeah, Recess, what we were talking about. But like, there was more shows, I think, that were more kid friendly, if that makes sense. Wholesome,
for sure. Wholesome show. Even Doug.
You had
oh my God, there was one I can't even think of it right now, but that was one where it was perfect.
Like,
Football Head. Hey Arnold.
Oh, Hey Arnold. What else did we have that generate? Like, I knew we had like the Proud Family. You had Sister, and it was all about, kids dealing with like normal situations, like removing Hermione and Buffy out of the situation with the supernatural things. But this was like day-to-day things like That's So Raven, even like those types of shows. Even though they were a little fantastical, they were still grounded in some sort of reality.
Right.
I'm like, I feel like there's a dearth. Like there's no longer a supply of that for kids. It's now Riverdale and like all these shows that are super dramatic.
Right.
They're hypersexualized and it's like super.
No.
But you know what I mean? Like there's less like you said, wholesome things for kids to identify with.
It's a whole different world too. Cause even the way like television is digested,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, here's everything at once.
Yeah.
There's no patience.
You didn't have to schedule your week and make sure you got home on time, right? And make sure like your mom's not watching something.
In working with a high school, because we're working with the high school to bring a multimedia program there, I can see the difference and I can see the steps that they're taking and why we're working with that school. It's to help the kids learn differently because it's a different world. They're not learning
really
like us.
Is.
You know, I remember one of the first things they had issues at the high school with do-rags, right? It was a big deal. And half of like the staff is like, well, you can't wear do-rags. And then like the kids are like,
Why?
yeah, but they're kind of our like it's part of our culture.
Yeah, it's cultural. It's more like a hijab.
Right. Exactly. But being older, you're like, no, it's like a hat. You can't wear caps, you can't wear things on your head. If you're doing it for like the curls in your hair, do it overnight, but you can't like do it. So it was like this big thing and they got like the news involved. And it was like, instead of talking it out and processing it. And immediately my first go-to was like, well, yeah, you can't wear things on your head at school. Like you just can't. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm older.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in school, you can't do that. And then I remember the second I realized it is in talking to the vice principal at the school. And he was like, yeah, because, you know, you can't wear these things and you have to follow these rules because how are you going to get an interview when you have a hat on it? And I'm like, oh shit, the jobs today are different.
They are.
You can get an amazing job and have a tattoo on your face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we live in a creative world now.
The rules are changing. The economy is a completely different. It's completely different. It changed from the recession and it's now a different world.
It is. So that's
my generation, because I am a lot younger than you.
Don't throw in a lot.
I'm a significant.
Don't throw in a lot.
What, Generation X?
Gen X, yeah.
Gen X, right?
Yeah.
You guys are just like the kids on the bleachers just watching us. Because technically I'm millennial. But so my generation, they call us the generation of nostalgia. So for us, we're bitter and nostalgic because we were the generation that remembers before internet, after internet, before cell phones, after cell phones. So we're constantly in this flux. And so we're like this generation of bitter people of like, well, I remember the good old days. But on top of that,
back in my day.
Yeah, seriously, back in my day. But on top of that, we're also the last generation that was really sold on the conventional idea of like, you go to school, you get a job, you're there for 30 years and you retire.
Right.
Right?
Which,
like that doesn't exist anymore.
That's an old way of thinking. So that's why all of these of these books, all this curriculum, it all needs to change.
It has not been adjusted.
Like even if you think about the school days are laid out like you work in a factory because back in the day you would go to school and get factory jobs. It's a brand new world. So in talking about like multimedia and bringing this program to the school, it's because there's so many jobs in that. So like being a content creator is a job.
Yes.
So
is technically an influencer.
An influencer. So if you think about this, like, okay, well, I'm an influencer. So
we're not, by the way.
There, you know,
we're not.
Life goals.
Yeah, we're like sponsors. We are looking.
So if you think about it, and if you're an influencer, you know how many jobs are attached to that, right? So I'm an influencer and I make YouTube videos. Cool. So you need a cameraman.
Yes.
Cameraman's a job.
Or you have to learn. So either you delegate, which is what Joe's saying, is you learn to do camera, you do editing, you do music, you do this, or you have to learn it all with delegation.
Right. Yeah. So, and you just mentioned 4 jobs right there.
Yes.
You know, you need an editor, you need a sound person, you need somebody to make the music, you need somebody to do the video editing,
someone to write your contact,
to do the sound.
If you don't know what you're doing,
you need somebody for lighting. You're going to be on screen. What do you need? Hair and makeup. You need all of these things. These are all jobs that people should be focusing on. As opposed to, but in this book, if you read that and then you're going to get this.
Instead of disparaging them.
It's a different world.
Well, and it's also in the idea like where, I don't know if when you went to high school, did you have school uniforms?
No.
Or standardized dress?
In Catholic school, but not.
No, but like in high school?
No.
So my high school, we had problems with gangs, right? We had a lot of problems.
It makes sense that everybody should wear the same thing.
So we had standardized dress. So where it's very specific, we had to wear like Dockers. We could wear the tan or navy blue Dockers. And we had to wear collared polo shirts. And if girls wanted to wear skirts, they had to be the knee length Docker skirts.
You had to look like you were in like Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, kind of. But like, so we had standardized dress. And again, that had to do with gangs. But I do know that there's other schools that have very restrictive, arbitrary dress codes still, where it's like, God forbid you're a girl and you show some shoulder.
Right.
Because what are you going to do? You're going to distract the boys in class from learning. No, then teach the boys to fucking pay attention.
How about have some self-control?
Yeah.
Or, you be a young man, be an
Or
adult.
adults.
Grow into being an adult.
Adults, instill that into your children, boys and girls.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about the other kid.
Thank you to our amazing community on Patreon for supporting this podcast.
You can support us too and get different perks and gifts depending on which Neuro Jedi tier you sign up for. For example, if you're on our Neuro Padawan $5 tier, then you're probably listening to this episode a day early before its public release.
Your support helps us grow and continue to create this podcast. Plus, a portion of the proceeds go to a different cause or individual in the brain injury survivor community each month. Sign up at patreon.com/the NeuroNerds. So in hearing, the vice principal say, oh, well, you can't like wear a hat
Right.
into like an interview or have like a do-rag. And I'm like, you know what? You actually can. You can get a very close to a 6-figure gig wearing a do-rag into a gig. Like
Yes.
you can. I know several people who are getting paid very well to do, like, let's say video editing,
Mhm.
sound editing.
Mhm.
They can dress however they want. They have
Yeah.
tattoos on their face.
Yeah.
This is a great job today. You know what
It's
I
an
mean?
extremely competitive market. But if we prepare young people early on with more life skills, and I really do think there needs to be more life skills, like
Yes.
how to open a bank account, what is checking, what is credit,
Yes.
they
Absolutely.
and even go back a little to home ec and like put boys and girls into class so everyone can sew a button, right? Like these are life skills as well, children.
No, man, you just go to the store, you just get a new shirt.
Oh yes, blatant consumerism.
But I think all of those things, that's what we should be focusing on. So,
Some practical skills along with the regular curriculum.
Agreed. So yeah, because we absolutely need to learn history or else we're going to repeat it,
Yes.
right? So this orange idiot that's running this country and this world into the ground, oh, I'm going to bring back coal jobs. No, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Transition from coal into clean energy, right? Put your focus, energy, and resources into teaching these coal miners how to work on these windmills, how to work on clean air projects, right? Because that's the future. Instead of just saying, hey, we're going to work backwards because that's going to bring back these types of jobs. No, it doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So hybrid cars, right? It's a way of the future. Clean gas because we need to get away from gasoline. I'm not saying, all right, well, we're going to bring back gasoline. No, don't bring back gasoline. It's not great for the environment. Like, let's teach new things. Like, let's teach new skills to these people so we have like an amazing world in the future. Even red meat is destroying the world, apparently.
Oh, well, I'm eating red meat, so.
Right? Well, no, I'm not saying I'm not eating red meat. I'm getting away from it. I've never been a really big red meat guy.
I'm Mexican. I grew up eating carne asada every night. So.
I can't. I'm not the biggest red meat fan, but let's transition. Let's eat healthier meats, right? And we don't need to do it 7 days a week.
Yes, we do.
No, oh my God. But like, I think we should just transition into, look, we got to move forward, not stay still. Or worse, move backwards. You know what I mean?
No, now I'm about backwards, just to be contrary.
Just, of course.
Don't take my steak.
No, I mean, you want that Beyond Meat.
Ugh, I can't because a lot of them use yeast.
Do they really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
That's why I can't eat a lot of vegan food. They use nutritional yeast or brewer's yeast or baker's yeast as a supplement.
Oh, I use that as salt. There's a yeast thing that actually has the same taste of salt.
Sick.
Well, okay, I'm not forcing it on you. I'm just saying. Are you a stroke or brain injury survivor looking for a community and support? Well, the NeuroNerds are here to help. Join our #UsoRock Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/UsoRock to connect with other survivors like you.
Plus, read other inspirational brain injury survivor stories on Joe's blog at josorocks.com/UsoRock. And submit your stories there as well. We want to hear them.
And remember,
You so rock.
Stop laughing at it.
Anyways, moving on. So you identified with Spider-Man.
I did. I identify with Spider-Man because he's a kid from New York.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from New York. I'm from Brooklyn, you know? And the way he went through school, it's like, oh yeah, he struggled. And then he got the girl, which is actually really, really cool. I got several. But it was cool to see him fight through and struggle and still keep fighting and
As a
end up
teen.
on top as a teen.
Not
right?
as an adult.
No.
Yeah.
As a teen. But then I got to see him transition into adult, which
Right.
actually gave you like, hey, it's going to be okay.
Right. There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
There is.
Yeah.
There is. I think for everybody.
Oh, of course. But so was there any, was there any book characters, but you didn't read?
No. Again, so like that goes back to like the way we're taught.
Mhm.
When it came to like retention and reading, I just wasn't there.
Well, I think maybe some people would identify maybe with Star Wars,
Mhm.
right? Maybe some people would identify with Luke,
Mhm.
and grow up that way using Luke as a character. And for this generation, it might be Rey,
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
right? Maybe someone who's coming from nothing and building themselves up.
And then turns evil. I
I'm
saw the trailer.
So happy about that, but there's theories. Oh, do we need to? Yeah,
She might be a clone.
Spoiler. Yeah, no, that's mine.
That she's a clone?
So yeah,
I think it's a Vision. I'm going
no,
Vision.
So I think I came up with like 3 or 4. I did some reading. So one is that she is obviously a vision, like
Right.
how Luke had one when he was training with Yoda.
Yes.
That this is a vision of
And
who she
he
needs.
cut Vader's head off and then busted the mask and it was
Right.
his face.
Right.
Yeah.
So something like that. Okay. Then there's another theory that she is Kylo Ren's vision, that he's seeing Dark Rey, what he thought he wanted, and
But
it's not what he wants.
I love that.
Right. Because
I
again,
really like
this
that.
is the rise of Skywalker.
Right.
Who the fuck's a Skywalker? Kylo, Ben Solo. Okay. He's the
Right.
only remaining Skywalker. The other theory is that she is Palpatine's clone.
I don't like that.
Why?
I don't like
kinda
the
dig it.
clone. Maybe
Well-
related. I don't like clone.
But one of the other theories is she is Palpatine's clone. The other one is that Darth Sidious has possessed her or taken her over.
I like that.
And that she then from there is she's either going to have to fight him off herself,
Mhm.
like from within, or it's going to be a combination of Kylo and Rey partnering to get rid of him.
Right. And then Kylo Ren dies and that's
Nope.
No?
I think they're going to end up together,
Ugh.
or Rey's going to die.
Or they're related. It's just going to be creepy.
They're not related.
Dude, Star Wars does that
not
weird
related.
thing.
I know, but hashtag not related.
They do that weird thing. And then I was reading something about like she might be like associated with the Knights of Ren.
Yeah, well,
Mhm.
that was the other thing, is that the other theory, since they're going back to the first movie because it's J.J. Abrams again, is that this was part of the vision that she initially had when she grabbed the lightsaber, with Kylo being in the rain with the other Knights of Ren. And when he turns to look, it's her.
Right.
But it wasn't raining in the clip we got of Rey.
I'm only happy when it rains.
Well, the other thing I was reading, though, is that people are really hoping this is more of a bigger plot point,
Mhm.
because like Rey looks amazing. Her lightsaber looks
Super
amazing.
dope.
So that would be a lot of money and time spent animating and creating this just to waste on a vision.
True.
Yeah,
But they wasted a lot of money and animation on Snoke,
true.
who was just a bore. I was like super excited.
I
And
know.
it's like,
I wanted him to be
Oh.
Darth Plagueis, but
so did I.
But-
And I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's it.
well,
There's that.
there's a couple tinfoil hat conspiracy theories.
I'm in.
So the working title of Rise of Skywalker was called Black Diamond.
Mhm.
So if you look at the stills from the shot of Darth Rey, she has a ring on her finger,
Mhm.
right? And it looks remarkably like Leia's ring that she wears on her index finger, especially in the scene where she's hugging Rey.
So she murdered Leia.
Well, what they're trying to think if that has to do either. Some people are saying maybe it's a wedding ring,
Mhm.
like because she marries Kylo. Another theory is that before however they end Carrie Fisher's arc
Yeah.
in the movie, is Rey ends up with this ring. And so,
okay.
right, that's one theory why people don't think it's a vision. If that is Leia's ring,
Right.
she wouldn't have it in the vision.
True.
Right. And then what was the other one? Oh, people were talking about the Kyber crystal
Mhm.
that was used to create Rey's like staff saber.
Yeah, it looks
Right?
amazing.
It looks amazing. But the only people in canon who have the unstable Kyber crystal is Kylo.
Right.
Right. And that has to do from bleeding the crystal.
So she killed Kylo.
No, one theory is either Kylo made it for her,
Mhm.
right? Or it was from breaking her spirit. So if she was being possessed by Sidious, by Palpatine, it was through the possession, it broke her crystal.
I know what's going to happen.
What?
So
She's going to be redeemed by love.
No,
Yes. And her and
Sidious-
Kylo.
Sidious takes over Kylo, and then
Oh, that's
he
so interesting.
he murders Leia, and on her
No.
deathbed, she looks at Rey and she hands Rey the ring and she says, Dracarys.
Oh God, that would be amazing.
Right? Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And then Rey goes crazy and kills everybody.
But what I would like is I would really like to maybe see the evil Rey, like for her to be possessed. I really kind of dig it. Maybe when Leia dies to have her like go mad with grief or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Or Leia has force power. So maybe when she dies, there's like a surge.
You know
in
what?
the force?
One thing we haven't talked about?
What?
Luke.
He's gone.
No, he's not.
Well, no, he's not. But
he's absolutely.
I
So
know.
if you're going to have Palpatine, the
Yes.
evil laugh, Luke is going to be a force ghost floating around somewhere doing something dope.
What?
I'm still waiting for my Luke Skywalker moment. Darth Vader had his in Rogue One. I want a Luke Skywalker moment, damn it.
Well, what I'm thinking, let me is maybe do the inverse of the first movie.
Okay.
Right? So now Rey is serving Sidious, right? She's been possessed.
Okay.
And because it's all about balance. These movies are supposed to be about balance.
Right. You bring a balance to the force.
Right. So maybe as she surges in her darkness, as Ben and / Kylo kind of loses some of his drive, maybe when his mother actually dies,
right,
that like breaks him from the amount of despair, instead of driving him further into the dark side, kind of pulls him out.
Light.
And so they're now shifting, right? And so maybe it becomes she's serving Sidious, and then so Kylo / Ben the movie is spent trying to bring Rey back to the light.
Oh, interesting.
Right? I would love that.
What I really want to see are amazing force powers, because I got it with Kylo briefly in the Force Awakens.
Yeah, with the stopping of the blaster bolt.
Oh my God. Because I had never seen that.
Well, and I loved when he did his battle with Finn in the forest, right? Where he was using a combination of force with his lightsaber.
Right.
Same thing as in the battle in the throne room in Last Jedi.
I think what they need to do is watch, oh my gosh, there's the video game, The Force Unleashed. Just watch the boss battles in the video game, The Force Unleashed, and then just make that happen on screen. It's amazing. Like you have two Jedis or a Jedi and a Sith fighting, and you really get to see, oh wow, this is what it should be. They're both powerful and they're using, their lightsaber skills, but they're also using the force skills.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. I want to see the spectacle.
Yeah, me too. Like that's what we're paying for.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
And I was reading another post on the theories of like, what is this whole thing about, especially the relationship between Kylo and Rey. And someone compared it to Darth Revan and Basila Shan.
From the Knights of the Old Republic.
Right? So Revan was Jedi. He went Jedi Sith, right? He had all this fluctuating.
Yeah, we're nerds. So what?
Yeah. I think it's Basila Shan, right? So like that's another tragic love story, right? So like at the core of all these Star Wars films and the Star Wars canon, it's always there's some sort of love story, whether it's tragic or whatnot. And what they even did in the trailer, right, where they did like a minute and a half of John Williams' score and all of like, remember when we were good guys? Like the nostalgia, but they showed all the main relationships. Right. They showed Padme and Anakin. They showed Leia and Han. And then they showed the hand grab of Kylo and Rey. So like that's the next evolution. Go Reylo, hey, I ship them.
Oh my. Also, we're going to see Darth C-3PO.
Oh, I saw that. I thought that was so cool. I was like, please have him be or maybe he's possessed by Snoke. What if it was Sidious versus Snoke? That would be awesome.
That would be terrible.
It would be, but it would be kind of cool. And could one of them like possess like K3SO from Rogue One?
I would be in for that for sure.
Right?
I think somebody...
Or R2-D2?
No, I think somebody needs to possess an Ewok.
Droid bat. I want to pay...
You'd have like Darth Wicket. That would be dope.
I want like Droid Ball. Like, and Clegane Ball. I want Droid Ball. Pew, pew.
Why did it sound like the party horn? Fee, 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 fee.
Yeah.
Thanks to our sponsor, Avid Technology, for providing us with the tools, or should I say, pro tools, to record, edit, and mix our podcast and get our message out clearly to the world.
Try Avid first to start recording today for free at avid.com/pro-tools.
Yay.
Yay.
So this is turned into our nerd back to school episode.
Yeah, like we talked about our experiences in school, and our favorite like heroes for 5 minutes that we looked up to. And
yeah,
then
which is so school was never easy. Like it just wasn't easy, and I really feel
I think it's not easy growing up.
It's not, and it's even rougher with a brain injury. And talking to like some kids who have to go through this, it's amazing. Good on you guys. You know, it's man, that is just rough because you're trying to figure out who you are as a person, and you're also trying to figure out, okay, well, is this happening to me because like I'm growing up, or is this happening to me because I had a brain injury?
Exactly.
So confusing.
It's like Darius when he did our interview a couple episodes ago, where he's literally like, I have dark thoughts, and he didn't realize it could be from post-concussion.
Right. It's like it might be, or it just might be you're growing up. Oh, it's so weird. I'm so uncomfortable now. Jeez. Also, I'm really, really happy, Lauren. We are helping so many people.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Are.
There was a woman that reached out, and she was just like, she just went through brain surgery, and she was like, listen to you guys, I feel normal. And I was like, oh, like immediately ugly crying. Again, it's been established a million times. Not a very attractive crier, but like I was just ugly crying, and I just felt amazing because I was like, look, we're normal.
Yes,
we're all normal. It's just a new normal that we're working on.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Because normal is a relative term.
It is. Now, again, a lot of us like want to get back to I want to be normal again. Look, you're not gonna get that, and that's okay. It's just a new normal.
Yeah,
it's even better normal, right? An evolution of normal.
Don't make me go back to my Pokemon metaphor. You didn't like it.
Oddish, because you chose the weirdest Pokemon.
Oddish, Vileplume.
Gloom.
No, Gloom, Vileplume.
Yeah. Wait, no, there was another one.
No, it's Oddish, Gloom,
no,
Vileplume.
you have the Sunstone, and then it turns into
not real Pokemon.
It is.
No, I'm like Pokemon original, like the TV show, Red and Blue.
You know what I love?
Silver and Gold. That's my extent.
I love nerd fights. It's like, no nerd. This is a different nerd thing.
Yes.
Nerd.
It's like Power Rangers. I'm like, I'm sorry. I only do Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I don't do that Ninja Force or Speed Force or Mystic shit.
Oh, yeah. I don't do that other bullshit.
Exactly. I only do my bullshit, okay?
Why is this so aggressive? I get it, though. All that other shit, that's bullshit.
Right? It's like, do we talk about the prequels?
The Star Wars prequels?
Yeah, those that must not be named?
No.
Exactly.
No.
But I was watching it today.
Whiny bitch. Look, I saw the picture. I was so upset. Yeah. I was like, you don't want whiny bitch Anakin.
But it was Duel of the Fates.
Qui-Gon.
Now this is pod racing.
And oh my, I hated that. So, see, now I'm in a bad mood, Lauren.
Good. And on that note.
On that beautiful note. So this has been awesome. Enjoy back to school. Obviously, the NeuroNerds, we are always here to help. Reach out to us. You can reach out to Lauren at Lauren L. Manzano on Instagram. You can reach out to me at Joso Rocks everywhere. You can reach out to us at the NeuroNerds everywhere. On that beautiful, amazing back to school, stay in school kids note.
Yep. Happy September.
These NeuroNerds are out.
NeuroNerds.